We really need to own the things that we do to each other, regardless of if that person is sensitive or strong as a rock. If you do something wrong, I don't care who you are, you need to own it. And with that being said, Giselle, let me holler at you. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. It's been a long time since I left you, but I'm back now, honey. I had fallen off on my Real Housewives of Potomac, but I'm like, we at the finish line now. Reunion will be here, and so I need to get these last 3 episodes reviewed. So here's what we're going to do, Buttercups. I am going to do this episode, which is season 4, episode 16, called Trouble in Paradise, and I'm also going to do season 4 episode 17, Unanswered Questions, because they're so similar. I'm like, what difference does it make? Because episode 17 was kind of a filler. It really didn't give us much, and then I'll do a separate video for the season finale. Cool. By the way, if this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. A diva would appreciate it, and I want to thank you all for stopping by, sugars. Yes. Either way, let's get into this episode. So this episode of Trouble in Paradise opened with Bravo rehashing the conversation that was had on the patio when Robin arrived and Ashley decided to lash out at Katie because she felt like Katie's supposed to be her friend and she betrayed her. But Ashley, you betrayed yourself by thinking anyone was your friend. But what you did not have to do, and as I love how Karen continued to phrase it throughout this episode, was the fact that what you said and did was in fact inhumane and uncalled for. It was brutal. So they rehashed that. What I did appreciate was that Candace and Karen both stood up for Katie while the others just sat there. And I'm pretty sure that if Monique had been there, she probably would have too. Speaking of which, before we even get into that, let me just get Chris and Monique out the way. You know, Bravo did a good job of always trying to make sure that they included Monique in the filming so that she could get, you know, her time on her camera time as well as getting paid, because you know they get paid per episode. And so Monique really can't do much of anything, and we learned this at dinner when her and Chris go out to a nice little dinner together, and he's talking about how, you know, he realizes now that maybe more children just aren't in the future for him, but he's not getting snipped. I was like, Chris, you know that's your forever ever. You might as well go ahead and get snipped, boo, because it'll just make things easier on her. I don't know why women always have to bear the brunt of everything with regards to birth control and all that good stuff, but get it snipped. But needless to say, honey, they ain't been getting it on for a minute. And he said that, you know, I see how you struggling and hurting, honey, now with this pregnancy. And, you know, I'm going to be all right. You know, we going to be all right. But I must tell you, it's been very trying and hard. So I said, I bet it has been trying and hard, too. You know, lotion ain't always going to do the trick. Okay. But either way, they were cute or whatever. But yeah, so Monique said, hell, if I had known stopping having sex, we could have stopped at Milani. Because they have a boy and a girl. It's the perfect family setup. But, you know, get a bonus child in there. Might as well. So back to the Cayman Islands. Ashley, for some reason, thinks that she deserves support, right? So when she talks to her mom, she starts to realize that what she did was, in fact, wrong. It was ugly. And she's always talking about everyone needs to be this way towards me and support me and Michael. But you and Michael don't support anyone. Because I clearly remember Michael trying to make fun of Karen's husband when he was going through that stuff. And you did too. You both are haters. And I see now why you're together. Like father, like husband, like wife. Lord, okay. But you need to give Katie that same support that you demanded when you were going through your stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, Katie's problems compared to a man that you know is a known hands-on man who likes to touch people without their consent, particularly males, I don't get it. But okay, girl, but like Karen said, you dazed and confused anyway, so what does it matter? Also, another thing that I found interesting is that Ashley, when she came to herself, realized that the same advice she had been giving Candace about I'm in control of myself, she needs to be in control of herself, because the way she popped off, that was unnecessary. By the way, I hope y'all are liking my Katie inspired resort wear. Yes. Honey, I got my travel scarf on, my good jacket I like to wear, my good sweater, my Bolche jacket I like to wear, my sweater. Thank you, Banana Republic. Giselle, messy ass Giselle. Throughout this entire episode, I was just really disappointed in Giselle's behavior throughout this season, but really this episode, I'm like, you just keep digging up stuff. Like, we can't just have peace and harmony in this episode. You just keep the mess going. She's always up on Karen about her business. I don't get it. And she came to Robin and Ashley's suite to talk about Karen. And basically, it was like one of the things with Robin, Karen was mean to me again. And, you know, really, Robin, you can tell, is kind of fed up with her in general, because she's like, you do shit to bring this on yourself, but she don't want to really tell her friend that. And she's like, I've apologized to Karen for the 814th time. And she just keeps bringing it up. I'm like, you're the one that keeps bringing up the fact that y'all don't have a friendship, that Karen doesn't share anything with you. You get into confessionals talking about her behind her back, so that when reunion time comes, you have to be confronted about the shit that you do. And Robin was kind of like, well, you know, she's sensitive when it comes to you, Giselle. So, I mean, girl, go sit down somewhere. Then she got on the fact that Karen's business is not really owned by Karen, and she was talking about how, well, she has this and that, so that means she doesn't own the company. You don't know what it means. You have investors, you have business partners. They looking for a distributor. They probably are still looking for a distributor, still pitching it. Now, what Karen could do is still sell the shit online through her own website and have some boxes in her home. Okay. Then she said something that really disturbed me, where she said, but you know, I'm in therapy, because you know she's been throwing this up in our face all season long. She's been seeing Dr. Kim being in therapy. I think therapy is working for her, and let me tell you why. She seems to be more aware of the shit that she does. Now what she needs to work on is being able to think before she speaks, and thinks how this is going to affect someone. Because I would believe, at the very least, as a first lady, I would hope that Jamal Bryant had been teaching you, and perhaps you had been raised in learning that the power of life and death lies in the tongue, and you up here slaying and killing people every time you get in that confessional, killing folks' spirits. That is not of God, Sister Giselle. So then Ashley was like, isn't a rollerball a sample? I was like, oh God, Jesus, really? Then Giselle was like, you know, in therapy, I'm just learning how to meet people where they are. I'm just like, are you really? I don't get it. So I still don't get why she's always pressed about Karen's business. What I think it is that Giselle just really is upset that Karen's not sharing all of her business. And we talked about this in Married to Medicine that I just put up, that a lot of people get very upset when you don't share your personal life with them. Stingray Day is upon us. The girls meet up. Everybody gets on there. Katie's still dragging ass. She don't feel well today, and she probably won't be participating in a lot of the day's festivities. When they get to the lobby, though, Katie speaks to everyone except for Ashley. She's like, girl, I ain't got time to talk to you or deal with you, okay? Then they on the boat going to see, they on the ride to see the stingrays to the boat. And Ashley, and even I had asked, I said, they going to see stingrays. Didn't the punk ass stingray take out the crocodile hunter Steve Irwin? And even Ashley had to pose that question. I was like, girl, I ain't going to see. But I guess, I don't know, maybe they a different breed of stingrays that he was out there wrestling with. Maybe those are fixed. I don't know. What y'all think? Then Giselle is still getting digs in with Karen on the ride out there, because she told me, Karen, this is the best wig we done seen. Ooh, it's just holding on. I was like, that is not the best wig. I mean, it's probably one of the better ones, but Karen always wears good wigs. It's just that particular unit that she chose for some god awful, I guess she really was grieving, because girlfriend didn't know that wig was hideous. Ooh, Jesus, I'm so glad. I hope she burned it outside in a trash can or something. I don't know. But either way, she getting digs in on her. So the girls, they get to the boat. Katie's like, I'm not coming out. I'm just going to go. I really don't feel well. Honestly, you can kind of see Katie really just didn't feel well. But as the play goes on, Candace and Ashley are frolicking and having a good time, which Giselle notices that they are. Ashley goes in for a minute to check in on Katie, and she apologizes to Katie. And I was like, as well as you should, because the things that you said, who tells some woman you're not strong enough to be around these women? When Katie was there for season 1, albeit this Katie that we got right now, I'm loving, because I think Katie is being her authentic self. I think season 1, she just felt like she had to be extra and define who she is by her mixed race. But I think now she sees the light about that. In addition, I was happy to see that a stingray creeped up on Giselle and scared the bejesus out of her. That was ah! Oh my God, it touched me. I'm like, why the hell would you get in the water with stingray if you're going to be that terrified of them? The people that told you it's safe, okay? Meanwhile, on the ride to lunch, Karen is making business transactions and boss babe moves while Giselle and Robin ear hustle. What is she doing? Oh, she's working on La Dame, says Giselle. And so, Karen's like, I know I got a lot of naysayers. Lizelle. Oh my God. I was like, and then Robin is throwing shade too. She asked her, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a launch party, whatever. And then in the confessional, Robin was up there talking about, I just can't believe that we're actually gonna see a product. I really hope it's real. I mean, it's been over a year. I was like, Miss, I just completed a fixer-upper house that took 10 months, which was, I don't know how many months. I don't know if you plan to have it flipped in 3 to 4 months or whatever. But your project was a huge undertaking too. And I just thought that was really shady. And I was disappointed in Robin, because Robin tends to be the more level head of the green-eyed bandit. At lunch, everyone, it's peace, harmony, kumbaya, but then Giselle has to disrupt it about pointing out that Candace and Ashley are getting along. I don't think that was anything that needed attention to be brought to it, but hey, it's Giselle, she's messy, so why not? And then that's when the confrontation work continues, the saga of Candace and Ashley. So Ashley was like, well, before Candace decided to come at me like a banshee or go off in a banshee, and then Candace was like, you know what? I apologize if what I said about Michael, bothered you. I apologize. But you also owe me an apology because of the things that you did intentionally to get under my skin by coming into my house, telling me it's my mama's house and just being disrespectful. Well, did that cause you to have to come after me with a butter knife? That shit still, I was like, she can't with a butter knife. Oh, Lord. And then Robin is like, okay. You got your apology. Let's move on. Let's keep moving forward. And then Candace, I'm glad she did point out, she said, I didn't say anything no more than what anyone else has said. Everyone has talked about your uterus and your husband. I mean, you were talking about your uterus, about how you wanted to not drink alcohol because you were trying to make a baby. I'm so glad she got this baby too. And then Candace in the confession was like, we're just sick of Ashley. I was like, we all are. Act accordingly. They go out to jet ski, and once again, Katie is not going to participate. Ashley chose to paddleboard and do yoga. I was like, okay, I thought, why don't you get on the jet ski? Karen talks to Katie and lets her know that she didn't appreciate the conversation with Ashley and her, because she was like, what Ashley said to you was very hurtful, it was inhumane and brutal. So either way, Karen did attempt to get on this jet ski, honey. She almost killed the poor little jet ski instructor. Help, Lord. Because I didn't realize Karen, I said, maybe, did she ever say that before? But Karen doesn't know how to swim, and she's terrified of water. Other than to bathe in, leave her out of it. I can understand, because it's a means of relinquishing control. But I'll get in the water. I'm not the best swimmer, but I will get in the water. And overall, I'm just loving this Karen this season, being the supportive mother figure that she has been. Flash forward, they're getting ready for dinner. Katie shows up in her athletic wear, her, what is that stuff, Athleta, whatever Gap's, the Gap company's athletic line is. That's what it looked like, or Fabletics. I don't know what she had on. I'm not going to be able to come to dinner. I'm not feeling good at all. I was like, this heifer is plotting on leaving. I can tell she's plotting on leaving. And so, by the way, the white dress that Robin had on in this particular episode was beautiful compared to that piece of trash that they all wore for this reunion. Child, I'm going to have to look at it and see it in all its glory. But it was really cute, and that would have been a good look for the reunion if you were required to wear white. But I for some reason, I feel like Bravo picked the designer and told them to pick a dress, and I'm just like, I'm not impressed. Not at all. But overall, once Katie starts talking about the fact that she's been nauseous more than usual, emotional, crying, hungry, sleepy, weepy, they come to the conclusion that Katie might be with child, because Katie also admits they ain't been using no prophylactics or no birth control at all, honey. I guess she like, hell, let me just take a risk and see what happens with this little Jacob. So they don't go, she's not going to go. So Katie goes back to her room, and they all proceed to go to dinner and get on the bus. Once again, Giselle annoys me because Robin and Ashley share that Katie isn't going to come to dinner, and that's when Giselle was like, and she told you this. I was like, how else would they know that she wasn't coming to dinner? Because she don't feel well. Now Katie did say if she feels better in a couple hours she'll pooch through, but in the meantime, in between time, she's not coming. Then they get on the subject of, and also before Katie left the room, they also had a conversation about Robin feeling some type of way about Giselle's behavior during her open house, and both of them encourage her to talk to Giselle about it, or at some point during this trip or whatever, because I mean, I don't know if Robin was really having a good time, you know, during the trip until that was resolved, but we'll see. Karen did check Ashley for her comments and told her what you did was brutal and inhumane. I saw the pain in this girl's eyes when you said she wasn't strong enough to be in this group. So that might be why she's not coming around too, is because she feels some type of way about that. Ashley was like, well, I think Katie and I were friends, and that's when Candace was like, and she was like, what you roll your eyes for? Candace was like, oh, I just looked that way. Oh. Candace was like, I don't know how she expect anybody to be a friend to her when I thought she was my friend too, and look how she did me. I was like, girl, yes, we saw that. Because I really laughed when Candace said that. She was like, how could Ashley ever possibly think anyone is her friend? I was like, exactly. Once they get to dinner, there's the conversation. That's when Giselle tells everybody that they need to take ownership of their shit and apologize when they do somebody wrong. With that being said, Giselle, you need to always be mindful and take your own advice. I'm glad that Robin also addressed her. She said when you came to the open house, you attacked Monique at the word go. You didn't come in and greet anybody. I had buyers and realtors there. You know, I had, it was my business event. It was a professional event, and your behavior was just out of order. Just totally uncalled for. I mean, yeah, you can address Monique, but you shouldn't have done it. It's a time and place for that. And then Giselle, before she could catch herself, just, well, Monique had no right to be going around saying, Robin and Giselle don't like me. Robin and Giselle don't like me. I said she have a right to say whatever she wants to, because you talk about her all the time. You are pressed about whatever her and Karen have going on. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You got goof, 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 goof. Candace said, I never thought I would see the day when thing one and thing two would check one another. This is amazing. But at least Giselle said you right. And, you know, I should be more mindful about that. You know, the old Giselle came out. I need to be more mindful and work on my therapy and stuff like that. And then Robin was like, well, that's just part of your growth. Okay. Meanwhile, Robin and Juan are brought up, girl, when he hung up their phone in her face, basically, when she called, he was like, I'm about to go on a meeting. I was like, dang. When they were just ski. Hold on. But either way, Juan and her might be getting married at some point. We don't know. I mean, I honestly think it's probably more Juan than her. I think that she really wants to be with Juan, but Juan, like, I can't trust no woman that fucked up all the family's money. Then Ashley tries to give some marital business advice to Candace about Chris's cookbook, asking her was she going to have any type of ownership in it. She was like, I might get a dedication page, but that's Chris's personal business. And she was like, well, y'all need to set something up that will respect the boundaries. Like, it pretty much what she was saying made no logical sense, because I'm like, that's you who has a setup. See, you came to your marriage with nothing. Okay. You got a husband that sees marriage as a business transaction. Okay. So Candace and Chris kind of coming together where both of them are pretty much on the same level. The only reason Candace might have a little change is because she continues to allow her mother to be in her business. So With that being said, girl, shut the hell up. And I was like, Karen, you can't even get your prenup together. And then Giselle was like, well, his cooking is really good, even amongst the chaos. And I was like, we're having a good time. Why are you bringing up the negative things? It's like that's something that she always does. So needless to say, the dinner goes off really well. The girls have a great time. They get back to the hotel. Candace and Karen go to check on Katie. Katie dressed just like I am right now. So you know what that means. Her shit is packed and ready to go. She didn't even let them in the room. So what does that tell you? I was like, Katie ain't physically ill. She's sick of y'all asses. At dinner, it was suggested that Candace and Ashley get together and meet for breakfast to work out their things. Instead, y'all know Yoyi, Ashley had to set up a yoga sun salute for them. And Candace was like, I'm not here for this shit. Where's the goddamn cocktails? I feel her on that. But in the next episode, Ashley's ready to jump fool on Karen. I don't know what Karen said to set her off. Actually, I do, because of course I've seen the episode. And Katie, as we all saw and predicted, actually pulled a disappearing act. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. I'm back here again to discuss Real Housewives of Potomac. And we are still in the Cayman Islands at this review. This is season 4, episode 17, Unanswered Questions. And the big question we want to know, where the hell is Katie? But we all know Katie was going to pack up and leave anyway. Honey, she ain't got no time for y'all heifers. Ashley sitting up here mistreating her. And I have a pretty good feeling she probably figured out that Giselle is an instigator of all of this. So when the episode opens up, Giselle is like running out like, where's Katie? Oh my God, where's Katie? Have y'all seen Katie? She's gone. Oh my God. And I was like, are you really that concerned that Katie's gone? So she first runs into Ashley and Candace, and I guess it's kind of like, yeah, we saw her. And you know, Candace was like, Karen and I went by and saw her. By that point, Karen is walking up and she was like, yeah, we saw her, but she didn't let us in the room. But she had on like a jacket and a scarf and stuff. So, you know, we didn't think anything of it. So next thing you know, Robin finally shows up, and Robin's swimsuit was cute. I just didn't like the cover up. I thought it was a very pretty swimsuit, but the cover up took away from it. Karen's was cute. She had an all black ensemble thing. But I do like how Karen's approach, first of all, Karen was not in fire drill mode. I don't think she was worried. I think that Karen knew that Katie was on the way out when she saw her dress, but chose not to ask questions because what business is of her? We're all grown. And I think that's probably Karen's approach. Or for all we know, Karen may have gotten a text and Katie told her, you know, I'm out, but don't tell nobody. I'm just saying. So everyone is like, oh my God, you know, she hasn't checked out, so maybe she left a note at the front desk. Well, when Robin comes down and joins the whole, you know, chaos and confusion that's going on about where is Katie? She says, I'm going to call Jacob. And Giselle, I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if anyone else heard this, but she goes, well, which phone are you calling him on? And I'm just like, what does it matter? Then when they get down to the lobby, the people at the lobby tell them that their security, the Bravo security, has found Katie. And they tell her she's at the airport. And then one of the producers comes over and says, well, yeah, Katie said she wasn't feeling well, so she left. So it's not like she didn't tell anyone. She just didn't tell the cast, but she told her bosses. And so Giselle asked something that was, again, disturbing, which is no surprise because Giselle asks disturbing questions all the time. Well, is it mental or physical while she left? What difference does it make? The fact is the girl doesn't feel well. And quite frankly, I think she left because she's sick of all of you. Y'all made her physically ill. And I was just like, thanks to Tongue Slayer Ashley, that's why Katie left. So needless to say, the show must go on. They must continue to do the day's activities, which includes horseback riding, caves, and some other stuff too. I don't remember what all they did. But this, the ride to ride the horses, Ashley calmly says, I don't participate in the use of horses for pleasure instead of utility or something like that. And everybody was looking like, bitch, y'all serving kangaroo down to the eyes. So how you feel about kangaroo? Giselle and Candace had to ask her that. They get on these horses. Giselle done freaked out. I didn't know Giselle could be terrified of a horse. I personally don't ride horses for my own. I've never ridden a horse, I've never gone horseback riding, but some years ago, I had a good girlfriend that I absolutely love and adore. And even though she's no longer here with us, I blame the horse for why she's dead. My friend was a true and devout animal lover, and when I found out that she had died in a horseback riding accident, cracked her head and ended up dead, I was devastated because she had just come back from out of the country, and that's why I say I just don't like horses, because they killed my friend. And that's just how I feel. So that's why you never catch me on the back. I may change my mind because I love animals, and she loved animals. You know, she had her dogs and her goats. That's another reason why I want to get pet goats in her honor, because she was such a good friend to me, and she really was. I love that girl dearly. Some days I just can't believe my friend is gone. But either way, they scared. Meanwhile, back in DC, Monique and her children are having a staycation. I guess they must have a lake or a pond back behind their house or somewhere. I don't know. But Milani and Chris are just not here. I don't want to be here. I'm bored. Chris just like, I'm bored. I'm like, oh, Lord, maybe you should have given him a Benadryl to calm him down or something. Because I was like, oh, Lord, they are in full meltdown, mama. What y'all gonna do? Then something I have noted here, Candace just hit the do not disturb on Ashley. I guess Ashley must have been trying to call her and she sent her do not disturb. So either way, back in the Caymans, here we are. They're all at dinner after a day of having fun, I believe. Because I think they went to the caves and horseback riding and something else. I don't remember what all they did because I really didn't notice. This episode was kind of a filler episode. At dinner, the ladies are having a good time because, you know, the last dinner, it all ended on a good note with them dancing, having salsa dance. Yes, Balamo. Yes, okay. Once again, some stuff about Karen's business came up. One of the things I can say is that when Robin asked about her business, it seems to be coming from a genuine place. When Giselle asks, it's very hostile, full frontal, in your face. Well, what are you doing, Karen? You don't own your business. Why won't you tell me anything? Because you're just not a good person to share things with. Then also at dinner, Giselle for some reason felt compelled to get in Karen's ass because she was like, Karen was wrong for not inquiring about why Katie was dressed like she was going to Mammoth. Okay. I was like, that's not what she said, but I'm just saying, because she did. I was like, she got on a jacket. That looked like plane wear to me, because that's how I get on the plane most of the time. I always wear a scarf around my neck, honey, and I always got one of my purple headphones with me. So, okay. And I was like, and then in my mind also, I was like, well, y'all know sometimes she do be looking like Miss Havisham from, what's the name of that Charles Dickens book? Oh, from Great Expectations, that Charles Dickens book, Great Expectations. Because sometimes Katie can be eccentric and she'll dress a certain way, but you wouldn't expect that. But I don't see how Karen has to take ownership of that. Also at dinner, Karen also pointed out how intelligent Katie is. And, in some ways, I felt like that was a slight on Ashley's intelligence. They also had dinner fun talking about how you can control a man's kiss. Perhaps when I get a man that I'm kissing, perhaps I will try this method. I've never heard of it, so Mama Karen taught me something. That's the grand dame. She said, you take and roll it on your tongue. And that's how you can control his kiss. I said, okay, girl, I'm going to try that next time. I'm going to try that, okay? Then we all have had a good time, but once again, mayhem breaks out in the damn lobby, and that's where Robin was like, girls, y'all going to shut this shit down because it's just not worth it. Karen and Ashley have gotten into it because Karen, point blank period, told Ashley that she feels some type of way about the fact that Michael's case did not go through the court system, and even though it was dismissed, that does not mean it's vindicated, because any form of touching without permission is a violation of someone's personal space. The thing is this though, people, justice may be blind and no friend of mine, but it's also not fair as well, and sometimes the guilty goes free and the innocent get locked up. How many people have the Innocence Project freed? How many people have Kim Kardashian free? Either way, I get where Karen is coming from, and as a rape survivor, I can see why she felt that way, but I felt like maybe they had a few too many shots at dinner. She said contact without consent is questionable, and she was just going in. And then Ashley was telling her, I'm talking to you, you're Karen Huger, and you, that's why you don't have any friends, because you're fake, and all this stuff. And then she was upset because Karen didn't reach out to her, and I was like, in my mind, why would Karen or even her husband reach out to Michael about his situation when y'all was sitting around kikiing about Karen and her husband's situation? Okay. There is a conversation that's had, I don't remember, but Ashley was talking about, you know, how she wants to be a mother. She really wants motherhood in her life because her period and stuff was acting up. So she, I think she took a pregnancy test, but I don't know if it determined if she was pregnant or not. But I really feel like Ashley wanted to fulfill the terms of the prenup before those 5 years ran. And thus, that's why, you know, now she has that little baby, which, thank God, those pictures that they put out, people did them wrong. They should have published better pictures and angles of that baby, because we were all looking like, and I don't want to talk about nobody's child, because heaven forbid I accidentally end up pregnant, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, oh, if I get pregnant, okay? Next week on the season finale, we see Katie pooching through, looking good, feeling great. How about you? All right, so that concludes my discussion of unanswered questions. We now know where Katie is not, and she's not in the Caymans. She's down to the airport changing her flight because she wanted to get away from you all, and you can see her back stateside. I know Robin was upset, you know, about her leaving or whatever, but I'm like, Katie's a grown-ass woman. Okay, well, anyways, that's all I've got for this episode, y'all. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if this is your first time here. Thumbs up this video. I have been Miss Sophia the Diva. Everything I do will be down in the description. How you can follow me on my other social media platforms will be in the description, and my radio show and all that good stuff. But this concludes my thoughts on Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 4, Episode 17, Unanswered Questions, as well as Season 4, Episode 16, Trouble in Paradise. Either way, chin up, buttercups, because you know what? The sun will come out, I promise you. But in the meantime, in between time, stay fabulous.